To the Point with Michael Williams.
Good morning and happy Easter. Much to talk about in the Florida legislative session. This week we talk with a local Republican lawmaker and next week a local Democratic state lawmaker. I welcome you to tune in for both perspectives. Today, my guest, Republican State Representative Toby Overdorf from District 85, covering parts of Martin and St. Lucie counties. Thank you for being with us. Happy Easter to you and yours.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
We'll get it out of the way at the top. I know you're beaming. FAU grad of '98, then your master's in '05. You've been flying high with your owls. So
I'm just so thrilled. I can't believe it, and neither can anybody else for that matter. So we're so excited for the future of FAU.
We had to get him to drop all his FAU garb. Just kidding. Coming in. On to some serious topics. A lot going on. We're a little bit more than halfway through the legislative session. Talk permitless carry. You no longer need to get a permit or have training per se in order to carry a firearm. You supported that. Why?
Well, number one, there's no reason you can't get training, and in fact, I would encourage anybody and everybody to get training. But right now, all it says is that you are not required to have a special permit to carry a firearm if you choose to do so.
Why did you support it? Gun control advocates argue, given all the violence we have, we're going to have more hotheads out on Florida streets and more gun violence, not less, because of this.
Well, I debated this bill on the floor and actually found that there were multiple occasions where private citizens were able to stop something from happening that was going to be very, very bad. There's instances all across the country. Why don't you hear about it? Because the quote-unquote good citizen stopped it right in its tracks before it actually got going. And so there were incident after incident. So I looked at this, number one, as a way for individual citizens to be able to have that opportunity to step up and to protect themselves and their family around them. The other side of it is this is a constitutional matter, and that our Constitution basically looks at the Second Amendment as an opportunity for you to be able to carry a weapon, and that shall not be infringed, is literally the words that are said within the amendment.
But it also says a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, and many argue that in modern times we've forgotten that we don't need a militia when we don't have muskets and live much closer and have police forces and the like. So in fairness, that's what the totality of the amendment says.
Totality, yes, but also in all fairness, a militia is separated with a period from the phrase talking about unregulated, if you will.
I will say Second Amendment advocates, staunch Second Amendment advocates, are upset with Republicans saying we wanted open carry. And you had told me some time ago you weren't ready to go there yet, and neither were Republican lawmakers. Why not?
We've come a long way since where we were. This is a big win for Second Amendment advocates. We're now similar to 26 other states that are out there. And as a result, I felt, let's take the win, let's move ahead, and that's what we did.
And you're still supportive of the law put in place, signed by Governor Rick Scott at the time, Republican, of course, barring anyone 21 and under from having a firearm, an outgrowth of the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas shootings. You're still supportive of that?
Well, we had a bill this year that was run that looked at lowering the age back to 18. And frankly, I'm of a person that if we're going to be considered an adult at 18, you should be allowed to do everything at 18. So that goes across all aspects of it. Otherwise, if we want to raise it to 21 for all aspects, let's raise it to 21 for everything.
The Senate president had no particular taste for it, but you were supportive of that move. It did not happen this year, but you'd support it if it comes up
When
again.
it came to our committee, I voted affirmatively for that bill.
Another huge topic going on, Representative, abortion. It was 15-week ban. Up to any time after 15 weeks, no abortions will be allowed. That's now a new 6-week ban, that after 6 weeks, no abortion allowed except for special exceptions. Talk about your support for that.
Well, number one, it's no secret that I'm certainly pro-life, and I absolutely support in any way I can to save our children. So when I look at it, this is an easy vote for me when it comes down to 6 weeks. Now, there are exceptions that we have put in place, the 6-week to the 15-week. There are exceptions with that. So I think it's a fairly fair overall a law out there for those folks that are against this type of thing. And I'm 100% for it and look forward to voting affirmatively when I see it. I have not seen it yet in my committee or on the floor.
Talk about the exceptions.
The exceptions are for rape and for incest, and as it comes into that up to 15 weeks, after 15 weeks, those no longer apply.
Do you support going beyond this next year to an outright ban?
We have to see what comes up next year, and I was surprised, to be honest with you, that we had this come up this year, but it's something that leadership felt was something that we should be looking at, and therefore that's where we are. I really not sure where we would go next year, if at all.
To the argument of those who say a woman's body and her decision should be hers alone, and also to a political argument I'm reading among some conservative writers this week who say this issue will hurt Republicans in 2024. First, to the issue that you hear from advocates. Second, to the political part of that.
So the first part is that I would say that the choice that is there never takes into account the life that's inside the woman. That child doesn't have a choice associated with it. As soon as conception begins, there is a life that is going there. So I would say, number one, there is no choice there for that human being that is going to evolve into a human. So on the political side, all I can do is know that this is my stance, this is where I am. People know that about me, know that I'm pro-life, and if that's the overwhelming thing that they're making their decision on, well, that's what they're allowed to do. That's the part of our democratic system, excuse me.
Let's talk about education vouchers. Jeb Bush, of course, first pushed many years ago for school choice. We now have really what many say is now the apex of that argument and decision to push for and pushing through education vouchers for all. There's an emphasis, lawmakers say, Republicans of course in control, that those most in need will still have first consideration. Why supportive of vouchers for all, that some say may be a lot more pricey proposition than perhaps you all have intended?
Well, again, it gives the choice back to the parent as well as to the student. Let's say that a student wants to go ahead and go to private school with this $8,500 in voucher money, they'd be able to do that. Number two, if they choose, look, I need a little bit more tutoring here. I want to have my tests get prepped up for my SATs or whatever testing they want to. They can go ahead and do that utilizing these funds, and it's not coming out of the parent's pocket anymore. It's now coming out of their educational savings account.
One educator after another says you're draining money from our public school system. This is a direct attack on the public school system in Florida. It can only help but hurt public education.
I would put a lot more credence in that argument if, in fact, I'm still paying school taxes. I don't have any children in the public school system. It's been a long time. A majority of Florida residents are paying school taxes, and they do not have a child in there. The ESA account was basically akin to those that are paying their property taxes and those that are putting their own money in for covering their own kids. So it's basically their own money, if you will, that is covering this. There's plenty of money coming in. In fact, we have another tranche of money coming that's been approved literally this past week, 4 teacher raises, 4 additional monies going into the school system, and our per pupil spending increased again this year.
Did you not feel public schooling was something that worked educationally or otherwise? Was not at the caliber
Public schooling absolutely works for some people, most certainly. I went to public school through my first 9 years. I then ended up getting a scholarship and was able to go to a different school, but my public schooling was fantastic, and again, it goes back to that choice of the parent. If the parent is feeling that this is a great way to have their kid educated and them to go through, that's fantastic. I think the other thing that we're missing in this, it also provides an opportunity for schools to improve, if you will. People are going to want to go to those schools that are the best out there. As a result, I think you'll see some competition out there between school systems.
A good place to point out that next week my guest will be Democratic State Senator Lori Berman, so you're going to hear the opposite perspective, or at least a different perspective. I'm sure in this case will be an opposite.
There's some things Lori and I see eye to eye on.
Yes, there are. I'm not sure this is one of them, but
Agreed.
I'm just reminding our viewers they'll have a chance to hear your support of that, her view as well. I want to talk tort reform. Before session, you and I talked about this. People are buried right now under insurance bills, concerns about all of that, big concerns. Tort reform. Where is it? What happened? How will it make a difference at the dinner table for families, couples saying, I've got to figure out how to pay the bills?
So during the last year and several years prior to that, we all have paid a tort tax. That has been roughly $5,000 per individual within the state. In other words, when people are sued, whether it be for going into having some kind of an accident, having something else happen along the way, and a business gets sued, all that money comes out of somewhere. We've basically calculated that for every individual in the state of Florida, even born today, there was a $5,000 tort tax, and that means cost of goods, cost of housing, shipping.
You're saying we're a sue-happy state.
Absolutely, we have been. And there was a line drawn in the sand this year where we said, look, we're gonna bring this back, and it's the most significant tort reform this state has ever seen since Speaker Thrasher was over 20 years ago when the last time some of this happened.
Talk about one or two specifics you think will make a difference, and the counter argument from lawyer groups and consumer groups that at the end of the day, the little guy will be hurt because he'll have nowhere to turn. Talk about both pieces of that, specifics and that complaint that it's going to hurt the little guy.
Certainly. So comparative negligence, for instance. If a car was going down the road and there is a fuel truck stopped at the railroad intersection, car goes into the back of it, terrible accident, the person is hurt, but that fuel truck is required to stop at the railroad track, did its job, did everything correctly. Allegedly, say one of the brake lights is out, and that is now there's a, say, 5% negligence to that fuel truck driver. Well, in the past, under the old rules, that truck driver and that company could have been sued for 100% of the damages and 100% of the overall cause. Now, with comparative negligence, if you are 50%, 1 over 50%, 51% or greater, that you're at fault, no longer does that scenario happen. So what they're basically saying is, well, now we can't sue that big corporation. Well, if you were mainly at fault, you're correct. You shouldn't be able to sue that big corporation anymore. The other side of it is also on the medical side. They were saying we can't sue for the full medical damages. And originally, the original bill had it at, I believe it was 125% of Medicaid costs. We increased that to 175% of Medicaid costs, which is typically what we're seeing now in medical.
Briefly, what about the little guy argument that they're going to be hurt by not being able to have the lawyer help, have the protections they need?
The lawyers are still going to be able to sue. There's no prohibition at all in suing whatsoever. However, when you take that comparative negligence piece out, when you take out the real damages, that's where we saw the cost overruns, if you will.
I know there's so much to talk about. I appreciate you giving us some sense of that. There's just so much going on in session, but I do think it's a good placeholder on these. I want to just finish with one topic, a brief comment, if I may, as we move on to our roundtable. Just briefly, many are arguing that Republicans, talking about a free state of Florida, the governor does, but whether it comes on prohibitions against diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, more prohibitions talking about gender identity, conversations of that like all the way up through K through 12. They talk about a free state of Florida as long as you don't disagree with them on any issues philosophically, whether it's DEI or other. How do you respond to that critique of Republicans?
Well, I think we've gone so far one way, and that right now people are afraid to talk. I don't know how to address you. Do I address you in one way, or do I address you in another way? And that's just, we're looking at pronouns. When we're looking at overall business, if I'm giving a promotion because you are the most qualified person, am I going to get in trouble because of that? Because now I'm not giving the promotion based on the color of your skin or your ethnicity. That's just wrong. So I think that the way that we have to really address it is, number one, if I call you by a certain pronoun, I shouldn't be getting in trouble for that, number one. Number two, I should be able to give the promotion or give whatever it is based on the qualifications of that job, not necessarily based on the skin color or the ethnicity of that person.
We will have to leave it there. Much to cover. We'll be taking up the same topics with your friend and colleague across the aisle, Democratic Senator Lori Berman, next week. But I thank you for placeholding your perspective on all these issues. As always, Representative Overdorf, who never turns down a phone call and a chance to explain the issues as you see them, and we appreciate that.
Well, thank you very much, and happy Easter to you and your family.
Thank you to you and yours as well, sir. Next week, the Democratic perspective, as I said, from Lori Berman, Palm Beach County. Up next, the Roundtable.